gather around the flickering fire and let me spin you a tale that sweeps across the grand stage of history. A saga woven with the threads of ambition, brilliance, and the relentless will of one man, Napoleon Bonaparte. From the rugged island of Corsica to the opulent palaces of France. From the dusty battlefields of Europe to the remote exile of St. Helena, his life was a dramatic journey that forever altered nations. Born on August 15, 1769, in Corsica, just after the island was claimed by the French, Napoleon was thrust into a world shaped by conflict and revolution. His family, of minor Italian nobility, was neither wealthy nor particularly influential. Yet from these modest beginnings, the seeds of his future greatness were sown. Educated in France, young Napoleon was an exemplary student, particularly drawn to mathematics and military science, disciplines that honed his analytical mind and strategic thinking. By the age of 16, Napoleon's military career began with a commission as a second lieutenant in the artillery. His talents shone brightly in the chaotic crucible of the French Revolution, a period that offered unprecedented opportunities for a young, ambitious officer. His prowess in artillery and his bold leadership at the Siege of Toulon in 1793 catapulted him into the limelight, earning him promotions and admiration. As the revolution waned, the political landscape of France remained turbulent and ripe for a strong leader to emerge. Napoleon seized this opportunity in 1799, orchestrating a coup d'état that eventually led him to declare himself the first consul, and later, in 1804, the Emperor of the French. His rule brought much-needed stability to France, marked by significant legal reforms, including the introduction of the Napoleonic Code, which profoundly influenced civil law systems around the world. Yet, it was Napoleon's military ambitions that defined his reign. He led his armies across the breadth of Europe, defeating foes and expanding the French Empire to its greatest extent. His strategies and battles, from the stunning victory at Austerlitz to the disastrous Russian campaign of 1812, are legendary. Each campaign, while showcasing his military genius, also revealed his overreaching ambition, which eventually led to his downfall. The invasion of Russia marked a turning point. The harsh winter and fierce resistance devastated his grand army, a blow from which Napoleon and his empire never fully recovered. Subsequent defeats weakened his grip on power, leading to his first exile to the island of Elba. Yet, even in exile, Napoleon's indomitable spirit remained unbroken. In less than a year, he escaped and returned to France for a brief, tumultuous period known as the 100 Days. However, his return would not last. After his defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, Napoleon was exiled once more, this time to the remote island of St. Helena. There, far from the tumult and glory of his earlier life, he spent his final years, dying on May 5, 1821. The cause of his death is still debated, with theories ranging from stomach cancer to possible poisoning. Napoleon's legacy is complex and enduring. His legal reforms continue to influence many countries' legal frameworks. His military campaigns, while often marked by devastation, also led to significant changes in European borders and international relations. His life story, filled with rises and falls, victories and defeats, power and exile, remains a captivating chapter in the narrative of world history. As the embers of our campfire glow softly in the darkness, let us reflect on the life of Napoleon Bonaparte, not just as a conqueror or an emperor, but as a man who, in reaching for greatness, reshaped the world. Let his story remind us of the power of ambition and the dual edges of brilliance and hubris. Here's to Napoleon, a figure whose life continues to fascinate, inspire, and instruct. long after the last echo of his battles has faded away. As the fire crackles and the night deepens, let us delve further into the intricate tapestry of Napoleon Bonaparte's life, exploring the nuances of his personal ambitions, the complexities of his reign, and the profound impact of his policies and military strategies on Europe and beyond. Napoleon's ascent to power was not merely an outcome of the chaotic times that followed the French Revolution. It was also a testament to his unmatched strategic mind and political savvy. Once in power, he embarked on an ambitious series of reforms that transformed French society. The Napoleonic Code, perhaps his most enduring legacy, standardized legal systems across the conquered territories, laying the groundwork for modern law in many parts of the world. His administrative reforms streamlined government functions, centralized authority in the hands of the state, and fostered a meritocracy where, theoretically, anyone could rise based on talent. These changes, however, came with a cost. Napoleon's rule grew increasingly authoritarian, with censorship and a secret police that kept dissent to a minimum. His need for control extended beyond France's borders, affecting the lives of millions across Europe. The Napoleonic Wars, a series of conflicts that involved every major European power, were driven by Napoleon's desire to expand his empire and spread revolutionary ideals. These wars reshaped the political map of Europe, dismantled old structures, and set the stage for various nationalist movements. His continental system, an embargo against the British Isles, was intended to cripple Britain's economy, but also strain the economies of neutral and French ally territories, leading to widespread resentment. Despite his military genius, Napoleon's campaigns often disregarded the immense human cost. His invasion of Russia in 1812 serves as a stark example. Determined to enforce the continental system and secure a buffer zone against possible Russian threats, Napoleon led the Grand Army, over 600,000 strong, into Russia. The disastrous campaign saw catastrophic losses, with only a fraction of his troops surviving the brutal winter and relentless Russian skirmishes. This devastating blow was a critical turning point, severely weakening Napoleon's hold over his empire and leading to a coalition of his enemies that would eventually force his abdication. After his exile to Elba and dramatic escape, Napoleon's return to power in the Hundred Days was a brief but poignant reminder of his enduring influence and the loyalty he commanded. However, his final defeat at Waterloo ended his rule and his ambitions, leading to his second and final exile to St. Helena. Far from the battlegrounds and political intrigues of Europe, Napoleon spent his last years in reflective solitude, dictating memoirs that would help craft the legend surrounding his legacy. In death as in life, Napoleon remained a figure of fascination and controversy. He was a man who believed deeply in the Enlightenment ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, yet often subverted these ideals to maintain control and expand his power. His impact on military strategy and governance is studied to this day, a testament to his profound understanding of both human and institutional power dynamics. As our night winds down and the stars hang bright above, let us ponder the legacy of Napoleon Bonaparte. His life was a dramatic arc that saw a Corsican outsider rise to become the emperor of one of the greatest empires in history, only to lose it all to hubris and the indomitable spirit of human resilience against tyranny. Here's to Napoleon, a complex titan of history whose ambition reshaped the world in ways that reverberate through the ages. Let us remember him not just as a military leader or an emperor, but as a monumental figure whose life lessons in power, ambition, and human nature remain relevant across the centuries.